we're going to take you through one of our short and snappy mobility sessions. We use this type of training to help people feel, move, and ultimately perform better. You could use this at the start of your training session or just of an evening to complement your training throughout the week. Let's get stuck straight in. We're going to work on some thoracic rotations to start. I'm going to go into this kneeling position, knees nice and wide, hands stacked below my shoulders. From here, I'm going to place my fingertips on my temple and I'm going to rotate through my thoracic spine, my upper back. Like so, tucking myself right under and opening up the ribs and driving the elbow towards the ceiling. What we want to focus on here is not allowing the hips to shift from side to side. We want to maintain stability through the hips to ensure that we're getting maximum feedback in and around that T-spine, that upper back area. We're going to go for 10 reps. As I rotate, I'm really going to punch that supporting arm through the floor, like so. I may soften it as I twist under, and you should feel just that tension unraveling around the upper back. Really move through those two positions with purpose. Keep the knees nice and wide. One more rep on this side, and then we're going to change. There. Changing sides. Knees stay nice and wide, hands stacked below shoulders. We're going to go 10 reps here now. Rotating under, and twisting towards the ceiling. Big rotation, and then opening right up. I'm going to go through 10. Deep breath in, and then release. Deep breath in, and then release. We're going to keep going 5 more reps on this side. Like I say, make sure your knees are nice and wide to ensure stability through the hips and maximum feedback through the upper back. We're going to go 3 more here. Big rotation, and then open it up. 2 more. Big twist, open it up. Last one, we should be finding a bit more space there now as we twist. Good. Okay, we're now going to move into the downward dog and cobra, which is a little bit more complex, and for those yogis out there, you'll be very familiar with it. It's going to be great for loosening off plenty of joints and loads of muscles. We're going to come into this high plank position, hands stacked below the shoulders, feet at shoulder width apart. I'm then going to go into this overhead position, driving my hips to the ceiling, keeping my legs dead straight. From here, I'm going to get a nice stretch through the hamstrings all the way up, through the lower back. And I'm going to drop down into that cobra position, like so. Letting my feet go flat on the floor, like so. Try to set the shoulders away from the ears. I'm extending my lower back, driving the chest through. Now I should be getting that nice release through the lower back as it's extended. I'm then going to shoot back up into the downward dog. I'm obviously getting a fair amount of overhead shoulder flexion here. So there's a strong amount of stretch there, and I'm dropping in to that cobra again, like so. We're going to go 6 in total here. That's 2 done. Punch those arms through the floor. It's quite dynamic. It's hard work. You have to apply yourself with this one. Through into that cobra. Shoulders set away from the ears. So as I'm here, as you can see, my shoulders are shrugged right now. I actually want to punch my hands through the floor, set the shoulders down, away from the ears. Unravel any tension around my shoulder joints. Lower back. Back into the downward dog. Really trying to shift, looking through my arms. I'm shifting the hips to the ceiling, extending my lower back, then we'll drop in. To that cobra. There. Again, a ton of release through the shoulders and lower back. And a little bit of hip flexor as well in here. I'm going to do 2 more, up into the downward dog. I'm going to drop in through that cobra, like so. Nice. Setting the shoulders down, unraveling any tension again in the upper back, lower back, hip flexors. 1 more rep. Downward dog, and then through into that cobra. Nice. We're just going to shake it out there. Our next exercise, we're going to go into a bear squat. So now we're going to Again, there's going to be multiple joints moving. We're going to be in that plank position. We're going to look at priming the squat pattern, so really loosening off the hips, but still getting some overhead flexion as well. So we're still opening up some space overhead. So in that plank position there, we're going to go through 10 bear squats. So from here, I'm going to drop in through my squat pattern like so. So as you can see, I've sat right down into my feet, hips, knees and ankles. I've got loads of flexion. I've got that overhead reach as well. And then I'm going to come back through. Starting position is important. Make sure your hands are stacked below your shoulders and you drop in. You want your knees nice and low. Your knees should be just a centimetre off the floor. We don't want the bum up here. We want to drop directly down through a horizontal squat. And what you'll feel is those hips loosening off. You'll feel those hips releasing any tension there is there. Let's go for 6 more. Boom. Push the floor away, really reaching overhead. 5 more. Dropping into that squat. 4 more. 3 more. Great one for really priming the body to go into some squat work or any lower body work to a degree. 2 more. Last one. Into that squat pattern. Relax. We've done quite a bit there, in and around the hips, the lower back, the upper T-spine and the shoulders. We're now just going to get box involved. You could use a box, you could use a sofa, you could use a chair, and we're just going to get into the ankle. So all we're going to look to do here is kind of wake up the ankle joint and create a bit more space there. So we're just going to look at trying to do some dorsiflexion movement here. So we're trying to drive the knee over the toe. So as you can see, my heel stays dead flat on the box here. I'm trying to force this knee, this right knee, over the toe. I'm going to get you to hold that for 30 seconds. So I'm putting all my effort and intent on pushing this knee forward over the toe. Okay? The height of your chair or box is not that important. What's quite good about it, using the box, is that I can really get my weight over that ankle and I can really put the emphasis through. You also want to think about gripping the box with your foot, so creating that tripod effect so you can be really active in that stretch. Okay, let's change sides now. You should all feel a good stretch through the back of that ankle. So as you can see, great exercise here for improving that ankle mobility, which will transfer nicely into your squat pattern. So when you go into squats, you'll find that you can move through that movement a little bit more smoother, with a little bit more, less tension. We're just going to hold that for another 15 seconds, and then we're going to take it into our feet. Hopefully you've noticed as well that we've progressed this from the floor and now into a standing position. The next 2 exercises are going to be a bit more demanding, a bit more strenuous, but they're going to prime you and really loosen things off. Okay, we can lose the box there. Hopefully those ankles are feeling nice and loose. Our next exercise is then going to be from this standing position. We're going to drop in to a squat, like so. Elbows inside the knees. My chest is nice and tall. I'm not slouched, so I haven't lost that nice neutral spine. I'm going to come out of the squat slightly, make sure I've got some tension, make sure I'm safe and optimal. From here, my knees are forward and wide, my chest is nice and tall. I'm using my elbows to drive the knees out. So I'm really kind of priming that bottom position of the squat. From here, I'm then going to transfer into a hamstring stretch. So I'm then going to reach through, like so, dead straight legs. And I'm trying to look through my legs and my head. Obviously the goal here, as I am, is to have your palms flat on the floor. Some of you may be here because your hamstrings are quite tight. That's fine. We're then going to transition back into that squat, like so. So driving the knees out, getting chest nice and tall. See my shoulders here, I want to try and set them down. Find stability around the shoulder joint and loosen off any tension around my shoulders. My hips are really opening up, my ankles are really warming up here as well. Back into that hamstring stretch. And I'm loosening off those hamstrings there. We're going to go through another 7 of these. Chest comes right through. You really see I'm really punching that chest through, driving those knees forward and wide. I've got a dead neutral spine. And I'm looking super strong there. My ankles are loosening right off, so are my hips. Back into that hamstring stretch. There, hold it for 3, 2, 1. What you'll notice is that I'm spending a considerable amount of time in each position. So I'm not in any rush. I'm finding a bit of discomfort and I'm unraveling it. I'm loosening it right off. You also want to breathe through this. You can't hold your breath for 10 of these. You've got to breathe. So as I drop in and I breathe out, I can really find extra space, extra room. Back into the hamstring stretch. As I breathe out, I can really reach the floor, flatten those hands, like so. Let's do 2 more. Chest comes through. Nice and low now, you should feel like you've got a bit more range of motion. It should feel a little bit looser. Back into that hamstring stretch. Like so. Last rep. Into that hamstring stretch to finish. Like so, good. Just loosen that off there. Our last exercise, we're now going to go into an ISO hold in the Cossack squat. So this is now pretty strenuous, it's really kind of demanding, but also it's really going to kind of create strength, stability around and space around that hip joint and the ankle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop into a Cossack squat, which is like so. I'm drop into one side, chest stays nice and tall, like so. I'm going to hold that position for 30 seconds. We're going to do one side, then the other. So we're going to hold in that position. I might just show you side on so you can see what it looks like and how neutral my spine is. So as I drop in, hopefully you can see my spine looks nice and straight. My chest is tall, my knee's driven out. I'm driving that knee forward and wide, holding that Cossack position. Don't drop too low like so. As you can see, my back's gone into this rounded position and I'm not challenged here. This is not active, this is a passive range. I want to be in that active position. I'm just going to hold another 10 seconds, chest stays nice and tall. Find that extra space. 3, 2, and 1. We're then going to drop to the other side, 30-second hold. Here we go, 3, 2, 1. So I drop in, my chest is nice and tall. Driving the knee forward and wide. Screwing that standing foot in. Okay, that tripod effect with the foot. Really gripping the floor. Chest is nice and tall. I'm going to breathe through. We've got another 12 seconds. Should find that I'm creating a bit more space. 3, 2, and 1. I'm going to come out very carefully. And that is 6 mobility drills that hopefully now have you feeling super mobile and primed, ready for whatever it is you're going to go and do now. But yeah, hopefully that's helped. And if it has, and if you feel much better for it, let us know. We love hearing from you. And yeah, stay tuned, keep following us, and there's going to be more videos like this to come.